G'day everyone and welcome to afl.com.au for our watch-along of this double-header, the first game of a double-header at the Marsh National Under-18 AFL Championships. Joel Peterson alongside our draft and trade guru here on afl.com.au in Twomey. Cal, this should be a little bit of fun. G'day mates.
G'day JP, how are we?
Very well, very well. Vic Metro, SA, the defending national championships against the perennial powerhouse in Vic Metro. Metro 2 and zip, SA 1 and 1. What are you expecting in this game here at Marvel Stadium, under the roof?
Yes, under the roof. Yeah. Look, I'm in a bunker downstairs watching this game. You are elsewhere as well. This is the beauty of the YouTube watch-along, Joel. It's that we can watch it and catch it from any different way. We're going to do this a little bit differently across the day as well, aren't we? Because this is not going to be a traditional call. We're going to talk about this game, of course, as it happens and unfolds, and hopefully we get highlights of plenty, but we're going to also talk about the draft overall. We're going to talk about covering the draft. We're going to talk about everything that happens. We're going to take a lot of questions as well. I've got the chat here, so
nice.
Looking down at the chat, this is where I'm looking. I've got the stats here, we've got the game here. I'm looking forward to seeing what today produces because, yeah, as you say, there's been a few games underway already, but we're starting to hit the business end of the carnival once again. And yeah, I've just walked through a massive recruiters and families upstairs waiting to get in. They're shivering outside Marvel Stadium. It's a pretty cold day. So was I, but here the boys are getting ready for the game as we see.
Yeah, absolutely. There you see the Vic Metro team for today. So a couple of changes for them. We'll talk you through it very shortly. So jump in the YouTube chat, send us your comments. You can hit us up on the socials as well to get involved throughout the course of the afternoon. Isaac Kako from the Bombers, who of course came through Vic Metro a couple of years ago, he's going to join us as well. So we'll get his thoughts on his draft experience. He was one of the most exciting players that's come through in a little while. Callum, that 2024 draft, so 2 seasons in the system now for Isaac, and he really was one of those players that electrified the championships in his draft year.
Yeah, I went wacko for Kako, that's for sure, a couple of years ago, and been good to see him strut his stuff at different stages. Obviously, a few setbacks this year with his body, so looking forward to chatting to him. He's got spark to talk about. I know he's actually kept in touch with the draft space as well over the past couple of years in watching games and following his mates, particularly last year. And so, see if you actually know out there today or not. But he's obviously a talent, and everyone wants to be the next big talent, don't they? And I think today, across both teams, we've seen already throughout the carnival a number of players who might be that, and hopefully if they finish strong, they can do that, because it is a key part of the year. The carnival is a time where recruiters all judge and come players themselves lift for and wait and circle and underline this time of the year. So yeah, I think it's a key part of the year. And although the stands will be relatively empty at Marvel Stadium this afternoon, we know that the importance of this game and these games today and over the next couple of weeks as well is high, because all the clubs come back to them and say, how did they go against the best? How did they show themselves against the best competitors their own age? Did they take the moment? Did they maybe fumble the moment? Did they step up? Did they exceed expectations? Did they drop to a different level? So yeah, we'll be talking about these games for the rest of the year in covering where these guys all stack up.
Yep, it is. It's the really testing material for them, and it has been for a long time. We'll talk about maybe how many recruiters are here as we go, but just give me a couple of players, Cal. Who are you most excited about seeing in this game today?
Well, I mean, it's the Metro boys who played really, really well last week, because they dominated the Allies last week. I think Gus Teixeira, who we'll speak about a lot across the afternoon, is a player that I'm excited to see if he can back up what's been a great start to this championship. Archie Butler is a highlight reel, so he is another one who I think will be on the Marvel Stadium turf. It's an opportunity for him and a couple of these quick-moving players to step up, but also, and it's a chance for some of the tools in both teams to step up too. I think some of the conditions that we see under-18 games played on aren't always conducive to the tools and them performing, but both teams have tools that are quite exciting. Harry Van Hatten and Ethan Herbert for Vic Metro and South Australia respectively, and there's more as well, Lou Hounsome and some other players too over that 200 centimetre sort of range. So yeah, looking forward to them, but there's a stack, and I actually just want to let it unfold because last week we saw Vic Metro pile on the goals against the Allies. South Australia also thumped the Allies in their last game, so I think we'll see both teams head into this one with a bit of confidence.
Yeah, they had big wins in sort of different ways. SA took a little while to get going, whereas Vic Metro absolutely burst out of the blocks in that game last week in Ballarat. So, SA 66-point winners over the Allies when they met. Vic Metro last week by 83. That got right out to 100 right at the start. So, about to get underway between these two teams. Vic Metro 2-0 so far. And, of course... Vic Metro, South Australia 1-1. The battle in the ruck's going to be fascinating, Cal. So big Harry Van Haddam and Job Janeway, the big man from southeast South Australia, and Harry Van Haddam, who is an absolute freak of a prospect.
Yeah, I mean, he's been talked about as a top fiver for a long time, and there's reason for that. I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes today because I think by his standards, his championships, he might have hoped to cash in a little bit more than he already has. So this is one that on deck, we can show some of that athleticism that we're seeing now. How can he go against a good opponent? So, yeah, I think Harry Van Haddam at the start of this year would have been penciled in by most clubs to be a top 5 pick. We'll get to some rankings a little bit later on in the call around where things are actually sitting, but he's right up there. What can you tell us about Job as well?
Job, he's from a place called Congarong, so down near Mount Gambier in southeast South Australia. He's 207 centimetres, Cal. He gave up motocross a couple of years ago, so he's right into his motorbikes. He hurt his back riding motocross. His mum said, no, Job, that's enough. You're going to stick to footy. He still lives down that way. He's a part-time electrician, so he's a second year of his apprenticeship, and he's got that balance between footy and his work, and very, very hard worker. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can deliver today. You know, I love the stories of players from obscure rural locations, Cal. So he's right in my wheelhouse. He's big Job Janeway.
Let's see how he goes.
200. Can you imagine a 207 centimetre beanpole on a motorbike? It'd be like Waluigi or something in Mario Kart, I reckon.
It'd be like that tall bloke in the Simpsons mini car when he drives down the street. I think Nelson gets his payback at some point.
Yeah. Yes. Early Simpsons reference from you. I did have that on my bingo card. George Dimer getting an early touch and almost a nice finish there. Dimer played really well last week. He's a really exciting prospect. 3 goals, 2 last week against the Allies, Cal, out of the Sandy Dragons. He's one that had a couple of injury worries in the pre-season, but he's coming with a real rush.
Yeah, I mean, he's... I think I've watched him a few times this year. He's got some speed and real toe around the stoppages and also at the crumb of the ball. So he knows where the ball's going to land. Jordan Knapp was in there with the flying shot as well, has been going quite well. So a couple of the Vic Metro guys have been lively early, but certainly Dimer understands where the ball's going and going to be, and his ball use is generally pretty good, and he's got a turn of speed. So I think he's one that across the carnival so far has built up his prospects.
SA captain Coda Edwards getting a couple of early touches as well. He's sort of one of the more highly rated SA products and adding the ability to go forward to his game this year. But you'd imagine that he'll have an absolute stack of the footy as we go throughout. And an opportunity here as well for Vic Metro. Harvey Cook's going to have the first real shot at goal for the game from a set shot sense, after they got off to the fast start last week. So the 3 changes for Vic Metro today, Cal. So Downs, Strook and Sam Devers come into the team. Harris, Flower and Chapman go out. Couple of changes for SA with young Lawrence Andriani coming in as well as Ben Copping to their team. Unfortunately, Kane Florence goes out of the team and Jack Nelson as well. So always a little bit of a rotation policy for these squads in the championships level, as Harvey Cook gets us on the board with the first goal for Vic Metro. So that's a nice little start for him. Another zippy small forward in that Metro forward line.
And Dimer involved again. Harvey was really good last week as well. 22 touches in that game against the Allies and was a scoring threat at different stages there too. So I think he's one that across the championships has lifted his stocks too, and probably entered the carnival with a bit to prove, having had a strong start to the season, but I probably hadn't been inside that sort of top 30 range in terms of some of the rankings and these type of things and the view of the clubs. But yeah, he was really smart there and used his body well in the air to opportunity, and he has been a nice finisher across this year as well.
Yeah, he looks a pretty likely type. Does young Harvey Cook. First real opportunity for SA going forward, back the other way, and that's from Anthony Long, who absolutely lit the game on fire against the Allies a couple of weeks ago. Kicked 3 goals, 4 from 14 disposals. Kelly, Crows NGA tied Anthony Long?
He is tied to the Crows, so they'll have first call on him. He is tied, but Jake Imey isn't. So the interesting part with him is that the Crows applied to get him as access to their next generation. Unfortunately for them, they were disallowed and blocked from that from the AFL. So the story goes, and this is why they pushed, because they weren't alerted as part of the sample processes that he had Indigenous background, so he hadn't been a part of their academy. But then they found out too late last year that he was coming from Indigenous descent. Could have been eligible if they were notified earlier. Unfortunately, they weren't for their sake, so he open pool. The AFL, as part of its crackdown, you'd say on AFL NGA eligibility, isn't going to be a part of that. So, yeah, unfortunate for them because he's had a pretty good start to the carnival too as an attacking halfback, and I thought he was really good against the Allies a couple of weeks ago. Before we get on to the next bit of the play though, Joel, I'm looking through the questions. So I want some questions to come through about the draft, around rankings, around what's happening in this under-18 space. If you've got any trade questions, we'll probably get to them at some point as well. We've got a couple of hours to talk, so hit them up with them as well. This is I've been away for Gettable for the last couple of weeks, so this is my Gettable fix. If this is an askable chance as well, hit us up with some askable questions and here it'll be. But the first question I wanted to ask you has come from Mitch Kidd on our YouTube question. Best book on your bookshelf behind you? I think Joel's just in searching around for trying to get his best book. His audio has dropped out, Joel. So if maybe the microphone there might need to be switched back in. This is our watch along. This is what we get on the watch along, bits and pieces. This is why the good questions come through, because they make Joel's microphone drop out. Are you back, Joel? Not quite. Not quite. He's coming. So, from Lockie, if you were Ry Geeshan, who would you choose for Richmond between Gus Teixeira and Archie Butler? I think it's a great call. Richmond might not even have that call to make though, because Essendon has the pick ahead of them at the moment with pick 1. I think both of them are right in the mix for those two top live picks. So discounting, of course, that Dougie Cochrane will be in that group. Discounting that that Cody Walker will be in that group as well. I really think that Gus Teixeira has lifted himself right into potentially being the best player in the open pool. So, yeah, if he can continue and finish off his carnival like he started the first couple of weeks and go back to Sandringham and dominate like he has ages this year, then there's no doubt that he can be right in that range. So that's one. And then Archie Butler's a different player altogether. He's such a talent. I love watching Archie play. I've watched him play for a couple of years. He's been... I think if I was Richmond, I see both of them as being beneficial to what you've already built and what you've already got. Let's wait and see. But I think the reality is that Gus has definitely pushed himself into that mix where probably Archie started the year in that sort of mix, but I don't know if maybe we thought that Gus would be in that range when things were first rolling through. Are we back with you, Joel? No, it's a thumbs down. give it the thumbs down like the GMHBA crowd would say for free kicks to Gold Coast, as Dimmer got in trouble. But I'm allowed to say now, about the stream, of course.
How's that?
I think you're there. You're back.
Back in business? Back in business. Look at that. Beautiful.
I'm never asking you another question about a bookshelf ever again.
Yeah, was that Nick? I feel like that was a sabotage. That was a sabotage, Nick, and that's why the books are there just as a fake. That's why the books are there just as a ruse, Cal, to make me look far more intelligent than I clearly am. I haven't read one of them.
You've written a couple though, haven't you? That's still to come.
Yeah, something like that. I've got a few. There's not much on the bookshelf that's actually mine. It's all my wife's stuff. It's all just AFLW All Australians out the back there, Cal. None of the awards are mine. I'd just like to get that right out the front as well. Right out the front.
We've lost a bit of connection from the Marvel stream, so hopefully that'll pop up soon. But promising start from Vic Metro though, who look well on top and are the better team across. The expectation heading into this game would be that Vic Metro would win. It's just about, I guess, the way they play. And again, I look at these games and I've been going to enough of these under-18 games for so long now that sometimes you also leave the game and the score is so irrelevant. It's about the slices of talent you see. It's about the players themselves. So we do see that SA are on the board now through Slattery, who is coming off a big game last game against the Allies as well.
Yeah, he kicked 6 last week against the Allies, correct, Cal? Jack Slattery?
He did, yeah, and he's an overage player, so he's a prospect who I think clubs weren't sure about last year, but has come back and certainly shown more of his talents, and a taller, mobile type of forward who's a straight kicker. I think he kicked 6 straight and really made the most of his opportunities last week. So, yeah, has put himself on the draft radar more this year than last, and it was a focal point for South Australia when they played the Allies a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, an opportunity for him again to impress, and he's on the board today already.
He's kicked 6 goals all year at Woodville West Torrens in the under-18s and kicked 6 last week for SA. So that's pretty good going. A couple more coming through in the chat as well, Cal, just as we try to get the stream back online. Rich has gone with unplug the mic and plug the game back on, which I don't think that's a bad shout. That's good. That's good from Rich. And a few people asking if there's a stream with actual commentary. So yes. So head to the afl.com.au, head to the Match Centre or in the AFL Live official app, and you could grab the stream with commentary as well. Of course, if you want to hear the call of the game as well as what we're doing here with the watch along on afl.com.au's YouTube page. So great to have you with us there. You were talking about another goal to SA as well. So Anthony Long, after kicking 3 goals 4 last week, is on the board. You were talking about Gus Teixeira before, Cal, who's been one of the risers, and then we had a little bit of that sort of NGA stuff with Jake Imey. Am I right in saying that Gus Teixeira, was it St Kilda that applied to have him as part of their NGA and didn't get that up?
Absolutely, they did. They tried their best. Unfortunate timing for the Saints, though, because they applied at the back end of last year, early this year, for access to Gus Teixeira because his father is Brazilian, so he comes from a South American background. And at the end of last year, through the NGA changes the AFL put through after a long, long process, they put through changes whereby players from South American descent, if you ticked all the boxes and come from that heritage, that you could be eligible for clubs' NGA zones. And the Sandringham Dragons, Gus Teixeira, as a part of that, was a part of the zone. Now we've got the vision back, so that's good to see. But Gus Teixeira was a part of it. However, he hadn't been in the academy for long enough that required sort of 3-year time limit. So by those rules, the application was disallowed. So yeah, unfortunate timing for the Saints, who didn't miss him as such. It's just that the work out for them. But boy, it would have been a real bonus for them.
He would have been a massive get for the Saints. They've had a little bit of success with their NGA in recent years. Marcus Windhager, one who came through that program. Was Mitch Owens part of their NGA as well? Or?
He was, yep, absolutely. He was. They've had a few. They've actually had among the highest number of NGA players come through and be listed. Not heaps have gone on to play a lot of games, but they have had a few listed in recent years.
Of course, Lennox Hoffman a couple of years ago was one who they didn't end up selecting. He ended up down at the Cats as well. So it's an interesting one as to where the clubs go through there. A couple of questions coming in about under-16 players, Cal, because of course the under-16 National Championships is all part of what's wrapped into this time in the footy calendar. So it's a really busy time for underage prospects of all kinds of levels. Yeah,
it is, and the under-16s has kicked off. I'm off to the Gold Coast next week to catch the big rounds off the under-16 championships. As we see George Dimer here get another shot at goal. He's missed that one. He's been good. He's been lively. This is a good opportunity for him. The Dimer doesn't. So he's someone who definitely can put his name further up the ranks today. I think already has shown that liveliness around goal. I mean, small forwards, and we'll get to Isaac Kako in a little bit, but forwards are coming more and more into fashion, aren't they? So there unfortunately gave away the free kick, but was tenacious when he did it. So the under-16s are happening, as we speak over the next couple of weeks, and generally a pretty good forecaster for what the drafts ahead prove to be. I mean, years ago, I was up there and I think I sent a tweet out at the time that Dougie Cochrane will be the number one pick in 2026. That was 2 years ago. I'm holding on to that. It still might happen. Good mark there from Vic Metro, Tyson Bradley. But and Dougie Cochrane, we're getting a few questions on Dougie from our chat as well. I did go over and speak to Dougie a couple of weeks ago. He's still hopeful of playing in the end of their championships. I'm doubtful that happens, but I think we'll see him shortly after that for Port Adelaide Magpies Samful team. There won't be a video of that interview, but for those who ask, but we will be able to get him on Gettable later in the year. And a good leader mark here from Sam Gafer,
who is one of the real boom key forward prospects in the draft, Cal. I reckon there would be a few people who are watching along with us this afternoon that would have seen his mark earlier in the year against the Gold Coast. That sort of there's always a couple of players who really jump onto the page with one of those highlight moments. I sort of think of Ned Bowman a couple of years ago, who took that absolute hanger for Norwood at Woodville Oval. And Sam Gafer, he's got the highlights, but he sort of produces the goods too, as he lines up with the set shot there and misses that one. But he's had a big year.
He has. He's kicked a bag of six earlier this year for the Knights. So he's a part of this skyline of tools in the Northern Knights factory this year. And Harry Van Haddam, Louis Hounsome, Tate Hodgson, and also Sam Gafer there as a part of that. He reminds me a little bit of Patrick Voss. Now, he's chest out, he's physical, he competes every time the ball's in his area. Maybe not super, super tall, but yeah, he's a competitor, and I really like what he's done this year. So I think he's definitely in top 25, top 30 contention. Can sometimes fly for those grabs that we saw against Gold Coast Academy earlier this year. And obviously, as you say, there's a name that jumps off the page in that he's the nephew for the former Collingwood player. So yeah, there's some good family links, but no Pies access to him.
Couple of that there with the Pies you can see at the back of the pack there. Gabe Peterson, who his sister Violet is on Collingwood's list, taken as a father-daughter selection a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, Dad Stephen played too few games for Gabe to get onto the Collingwood list. As he had the that's love when things work out, Cal. He had the shot on goal smothered there, but he's so 4 games short of the father-son requirement.
Not ideal, as it's the one that got away for the Pies. He is a part of the AFL Academy as well, so has been through that system, showed some good signs playing for them against North Melbourne side earlier this year. As we see, Archie Butler, usually he kicks those. He'd be flat about that, missing that one. That's the one I've seen him kick about 1,000 times playing for the Brighton Grammar School team, and usually it's a celebration of some sort. I'm still trying to work through a nickname for Archie Butler. It feels like there should be something there that works really well. I feel like a nickname for Archie Butler could take off. So if you've got a suggestion, hit us up in the chat, because I've got a couple I'm working on. Narky because he's always fighting with someone.
It's not your best.
It's not my best. The
It's
architect.
not your best. The architect, yeah.
The architect, I think, has something there. But the Butler's silver service, because he does deliver the ball inside 50
Yes.
on a platter a lot. So if you've got something there, let us know, because I'm still sort of rattling through. I mean, it's hard to find things that eventually work out like the Wizard all the time. But yeah.
I feel like if anyone's going to come up with a good, it'll be you, Cal. You've got good form in this area over the last little while. So yeah, drop your best Archie Butler in the chat, or nickname in the chat, because crowdsourcing can be the way to go with this kind of things at times.
You'll get absolutely no credit if it goes well. Nah, I'm only joking.
The royalties will. The royalties will come their way, no doubt. Albert McGowan's got a couple of early touches, Cal. I've liked what he's done in the championships so far for Vic Metro, sort of rangy winger type, as big Billy Wigmore takes a good mark at fullback.
That's what he does, Billy. Yeah, I mean, he does that pretty regularly too. Like he's had a good championships. He's probably one that I think has lifted a little bit as well. You always want to see those defenders, how they do shake up at a better level, and yeah, he's been a standout for Vic Metro, I reckon, across the first little bit, and through reasons like that. How valuable is the intercept mark in the modern game?
Yep, Max Downs is back into this Vic Metro team. He's been watching Gettable because he's got Riley's haircut, so that's good to see. Good on you, Max. Braden Crocker in the chat, Cal said, "Screw the nickname. We need to brainstorm the song." Yes,
very true. I haven't got any ideas about the song this year as yet. Arky Sparky Butler, Sparky
Yep.
Arky. There's something there. It works on the way he plays. It's close to holding the ball there.
The blueprint
lasso.
instead of the architect. I don't mind that. A couple of questions coming in asking about Lawrence Andriano and whether he is connected to Port's NGA, Cal.
No, don't believe so. But I'm calling him Little Errol. He's a dominant little midfielder. Yeah, we've got another Errol coming through. Andriani is the man. He's dominated this year at Sample under 18 level, so it's great to see him in. Probably a little bit overdue, I reckon, but Andriani is someone to keep an eye out for sure.
So SANFL best and fairest winner at under 16 level last year across the whole competition. So the first West Adelaide player to get that honour. So he's obviously a pretty handy type, and he's got another year in the system as Dimer's involved again here, just sending this one forward. Albert McGowan on the end of it. They get another opportunity up front, and they just can't make that work.
Just need to point out as well, we haven't mentioned him too much yet because we're not doing the play-by-play, Joel. We could be doing the play-by-play, but this is not what we're here for. We're having a chat, we're talking through, want to talk about the draft and all these type of things. But if we were, you would have rattled off Coder Edwards' name 13 times because he's had 13 touches to this point. It's 22 minutes in. He's going at one every more than two. What is it? Nearly one every 2 minutes by the time this quarter rolls out. So on fire, and certainly a player who's right in that top 10 mix. I mean, I think if I was doing my rankings tomorrow, which we might give a sneak peek on later in the show, but I think he'd be well and truly inside my 10 heading into the back half of the season.
Is he a player who's improved that standing over the championship so far, Cal?
I think he went into it. I was pretty comfortable with him coming into it, to be honest, because it's a nice pickup from Peterson, and he can do that, those little moments. He was in there because he started the year playing at Sample under 18 level, was exceptional. Kicked 4 goals in his first game. Has always been able to kick goals through the midfield half forward role, and we know how damaging those players are at the next level and how fashionable they are to some degree. So yeah, he's someone who probably has cemented what I thought he'd be.
He's a prolific ball winner out of the Wollonga Footy Club through South Adelaide, and South Adelaide's produced a number of really good players in recent seasons. Of course, Sid Draper, the SA star from a couple of years ago, was a big part of what they've done at draft level recently. Butler just not being able to take the ball inside the forward 50 there, and George Dimer's just floating around again. He's going to lay that one off. I thought he might have straightened up and had a ping there, Cal. I thought he might have just just got the eyes looking goalward there. But again, another who's been prolific in this opening term for Vic Metro.
He has been. He's up to 6 touches, a couple of tackles, so he's been really good. But I have seen him a couple of times at school level take the man on in that circuit. But as they always say to these players, and I've been lucky enough to sit in a few of these under 18 teams, sort of team meetings and programs, and the value of team is represented really strongly in all of these programs, because the better the team plays, the more eyes are on those actions do get spotted out. They might be on the people like to stuff the stat sheet around draft time, and that's fair. Recruiters see the little things, and that's no doubt the case today as well.
Edwards is up to 15, just quietly. So he's on track for a 60-touch game. This is
it's huge.
A huge.
We shouldn't underestimate the fact that it is 25-minute flat quarters as well. Like, that's a huge number. And as we call it, there's the first quarter siren.
Yeah, there you go. So Vic Metro on the board early. They kicked the first couple. South Australia were able to hit back and they go to quarter time, and have a look at that. So 15 disposals for Coda Edwards at quarter time. Sam Tassoni is there as well, with plenty of the footy in this opening term. You are with us in this watch along on AFL YouTube. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Of course, you can get the live stream and the commentary on afl.com.au and via the AFL Live official app. If that is what you're after, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the second quarter in just a moment. Yes, this watch along on AFL's YouTube page, afl.com.au, and the AFL Live official app. Vic Metro by 5 points. First leg of a doubleheader here at the Marsh Under-18 National Championships. Joel Peterson and our draft guru on afl.com.au, Cal Twomey, with you. 15 touches for Coda Edwards in that first quarter. He's wrapped up there to start this second term. Cal, we've got a couple of questions. People saying, can they watch just the stream with the commentary? You can jump on the app on afl.com.au. You can do that there. A couple asking about a list of the players and what number they're wearing. So again, the app or the match centre on afl.com.au is the best place to go and find that as well. You can sort all those players by their jumper number and see how they're tracking so far in this game as we get this second term started. Both of these teams, Cal, last year, of course, SA went undefeated through the championships and had an absolute stack of talent a couple of years ago. And of course, they've been a really good side under Tony Bamford in recent seasons. And Vic Metro, just one of the perennial powerhouses. We know that. We know how much talent they've got in their sides. And, you think back to last year's championships and they both had some absolutely top talent in their squads. The likes of Sam Cumming in SA's team that got drafted from last season, just to name one of a few who've gone on to play some really solid AFL footy. And then, another Tiger, Sam Grill in that Vic Metro team. Sally Roby was part of that squad and plenty of names who we've seen play AFL already this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And every year this is the hotbed for talent, isn't it? And this is why recruiters place so much importance on this time of the year. This boy's name is Jake Miller. So we'll talk about him now. Why not? Because I've watched him play a bit this year. Big key forward, powers out of the square, can take marks. Generally, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on here, but he's generally a pretty good finisher.
Oh, here we go.
Around goal.
Oh,
there it
Cal,
is.
Magnificent.
Called it beautifully. Now, I've watched him kick a lot of goals this year. So he's a member of the under-17s group of players that Tasmania has spoken to, that they've nominated as players of interest for their 17-year-old access this year. So I think he's one of the favourites, to be honest. Inside that sort of top 8 to 10 players, that he's right in the Tassie mix as a 17-year-old this year. That would mean he gets taken out of the draft pool for the 2027 draft, so no club would get access to the players who Tasmania nominate for the end of this year. I think they're going to take around 6 to 7 this year. They can take 12 across 2 years, but he's certainly in that mix and playing well. And then Baxter Shruck's another one who's in that mix, and we'll get to him throughout the day. But playing well for Jake Miller in this type of game makes it no doubt that he'll be right in contention. The Devils, who do have a stack of recruiters watching today.
How many recruiters in total do you reckon?
Again.
Yeah, he's there and laying that one off. How many recruiters do you reckon in total are watching today in the venue, Cal?
Oh, there's probably, I would say, clubs would bring their large majority of recruiters and their recruiting team. So let's say there's 5 to 6 per club. I think in total, plus agents and these type of part-time scouts as well, there's probably a couple of hundred in the stands today. I did walk past Josh Fraser before, who was attending. I thought, that's interesting. Maybe that's the real signal that he does want the coaching job for Carlton. He's here at a game where Cody Walker's not even playing.
Yeah, so of course, Vic Country coming up against WA. Archie Butler just glances the post there. So not quite his best finishing so far in front of goal for Archie.
Been in it though. Been in the game, I reckon. He feels like the moment is soon to come for him and was set up perfectly by Dimer, who's, again, his forward pressure has been really good there. And the same for too, who's been right involved and good tackler.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of questions coming in off the chat about Toby Krasner, Cal, who's been a bit of a riser throughout the process this year.
He was awesome last week. Yeah, really, really good. And certainly speaking to clubs around Krasner's rise over the past month to 6 weeks, it's been around his run and carry, his ball use. I think the draft pool itself probably needed a few midfielders to emerge. That tends to happen, I reckon, around the mid-season part of the year. I remember a few years ago where Caleb Windsor started the year in reasonable form. Maybe recruiters were keeping him hush-hush to see if he'd get through, but then the championships happened start to see a bit of that run and carry, and it's like, oh, okay, you see all the reasons why Melbourne end up using a top 10 pick on him. That happens a bit. So, yeah, Krasner has been a live wire for Metro across its carnival so far.
Nice intercept mark there for big Tate Hodgson. So he's one of a few in their second year as part of this Vic Metro program. There's always a few that sort of carry over and get picked as bottom ages, similar to what Jake Miller is doing this year, and got a little bit of a taste of it last year. And we've seen so many over the journey, Cal, that have been picked as bottom ages and then really break out when they're in that top age year. And Tate Hodgson is one of those, another tall for Vic Metro that's doing some really good things.
Yeah, and had an injury interrupted start to this season and off season as well, and last year obviously. So has come back, did some training at Collingwood, I think from memory as part of the AFL Academy program. So yeah. Now we're getting a lot of questions about Lawrence Andriani.
Yep.
I've been reliably told he's not a part of Port Adelaide's access to him. So that's where that one stands.
Yep. There's a big Ethan Herbert in the ruck, big red Cal. Who's a little bit undersized for a genuine ruck. He's been working a little bit more on his forward craft. Kicked 4 a couple of weeks ago for North Adelaide at under 18 level in the SANFL. Tony Bamford's challenged him to try and play more of a key position role as well as his ruck work this year. But he's that kind of prototypical another midfielder type ruck with his ground level ability.
I was about to say that if you're a ruckman of his size, shape, athleticism, there's one player you're watching at AFL level at the moment, isn't it? And there are some tendencies with how he follows up at ground level that you think, okay, this guy's got the bit when he can do that. So, yeah, I've liked what he's done this year. I mean, he started off, he looked like Dean Cox at the start of the season playing for at SANFL under 18 level, where he was just dominant with his possession tally. Remember the days when Dean Cox would just dominate Dream Team?
Yeah.
He'd be your Dream Team number one player. You'd just put him in there and lock him in. He'd have 25 touches, 25 hit outs, kick a goal or two, take 10 marks around the ground. He was a Dream Team lock. Well, if Ethan Herbert was playing now and getting the sort of numbers that he was doing now, you'd say he's the guy to put into your fantasy team. So that's one for those Dream Team enthusiasts out there, or AFL fantasy. I'm still stuck in the Dream Team mindset for some reason or another. Some people might remember why I've got that mindset. But so there's that. But Ethan Herbert, yeah, I mean, I think what we see from him is that clubs might think that down the track he's a tall back or a tall forward, but I think what we're seeing across this year is that he can find the footy, and if you can do that naturally, you're going to be in the mix as one of those early selections, and I think he's right in that sort of top 20 range.
Yeah, it's very exciting for Ethan, and especially if he can continue to go forward and kick a few goals, it's only going to boost his stock to try and add just another string to what is a pretty impressive bow already. And Hugo Jeschke with a good tackle, and there we see Anthony Long working in defence, so just showing he's got the capability to come up the ground. Another nice intercept mark there from Tyson Bradley, who's another of those talented tall defenders for Vic Metro. We saw big Mitch Harris as Tyson Bradley gets all caught up on the mark there, Cal. That was maybe biting off a little bit more than he could chew.
You and I have both called games with Kevin Sheehan, and I love when he says the boy with the dancing feet. The player that I wouldn't say has the dancing feet is Tyson Bradley, but he got out of trouble there. He managed to make it work.
Yep. He worked his way nicely. Big Mitch Harris we saw float in for a nice intercept mark in defence for SA a couple of moments ago. The big fella out of Kadina on the York Peninsula, Cal. Talented, tall defender. Again, another one who you flagged in your top 25 to watch at this year's championships. What do you like about his game for the Crow Eaters?
Yeah, I mean, he's again become an interceptor, and probably done it by stealth in some ways. Some of these players are spoken about and known about for some time, but what we've seen from Mitch across the first half of this year, playing in South Australia, has been he can just do it with ease and does it regularly, and is nearly got the bounce there. Is just able to float in, take mark, do the job, shut down, and move on to the next task. So yeah, he's a player who definitely has first round traits, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't in a lot of recruiters' thoughts inside that first 20 selections right now.
He looks like a real presence down back. We are going to be joined by Isaac Kako from the Bombers very shortly here on our watch along via AFL's YouTube It is Vic Metro by 11 points. Of course, Vic Country and SA still to come. Oh, sorry, Vic Country and WA still to come. There are a few of those players out there at quarter time warming up. Keep the questions coming in via the chat. A North fan in the chat, Cal, saying potentially who would be a good fit for us in this year's draft. Probably depends on where they finish, because they're in the wildcard mix at the moment, and their first round pick could be in a range of spots at the moment, the Kangaroos.
I'm just looking what pick it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's uncharted territory for North Melbourne, isn't it, at the moment?
Yes.
You've forgotten what the picks are like around that point, although last year they did trade back into the group and get access to Lockie Doveston, of course. Small forward that you might have a look at.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see exactly which direction they go. I mean, the top sort of seems like a big, tall defender out of that, whether it's a Mitch Harris would be good. Jack Slattery with another goal, so he's got a pair. So 8 goals in his nice form to be carrying through these championships, Cal.
Yeah, he's handy, isn't he? The Logan Morris comparison is there, isn't it? You know how we always used to say, and we probably still say, that draftee's got the Jack Gunston about him. Maybe Logan Morris Jack Gunston, where every sort of third, second tall forward who's maybe not quite 200 centimetres, but is a good finisher. Maybe Logan Morris has taken that mantle now.
I remember watching Logan Morris in his draft year, and you could just tell he had such sticky hands, and he wasn't a massive part of that Vic Metro squad that year, but you could tell that he had the traits that were going to take. Took them a little while to get going here, the South Australians, Cal, but they've really got their game up and running.
They look quite comfortable now, don't they? I mean, they're obviously getting into the action, and some of their good players are stepping up. A couple of questions we've got. Where's Khaled El Souki? Well, he's injured at the moment. The Western Bulldogs Next Generation Academy player broke his leg a little while ago, so out for the championships, but had scored goal after goal after goal playing for the Western Jets, so is still right in the thoughts of the Bulldogs, but also other clubs.
There's a lot to like about what he brings to the table. Hopefully, I mean, there's a couple of guys who are injured at the moment, of course, Cochrane, Cody Walker, Khaled being another one of those, so hopefully there's a quick recovery there and we can see some of his best footy in the not too distant future, as now we are just trading blows, these two teams. And that is Gus Teixeira getting himself involved in the action, Cal.
This is what he does. I love his highlights reel. He's one of the real challengers for the best player or two in the open pool. He's able to take his chances when they arise, that he's able to kick goals at ground level. He's got some power. He's got a step. He's definitely got a point of difference that clubs love.
There's a lot to like about what he's doing at the moment. 21, 7 marks, 4 goals last week. He feels like he'll be right at the top of the conversations in the draft. And that mid-forward hybrid is such a valuable position and has been over a long while now at the top level. Angus Tippett, the boy from Point Cook, with the clearance, turns it over immediately. Great to have you with us. AFL.com.au's watch-along of the Under-18 National Championships, Vic Metro and SA, Vic Country and WA still to come this afternoon. Coda Edwards with just yet another disposal, just continues to absolutely rack them up. 17 in the game. Memphis Webb's got 13. No Vic Metro player has more than 10. So that just shows how well they're going at this stage. Racking it up at a rate of knots. Lachlan Hicks bashes it inside the forward 50. Almost the intercept there. Crashing out is Max Downs, who's been lively in the early going. Kicked a goal in that first quarter. Keep the questions coming through via the chat here on AFL YouTube. Seems like we've got a couple of viewers in the ACT, of course, footy in the capital this weekend. The Giants W have got an intra-club there, and of course the Giants men playing Freo tomorrow. Here's Archie Butler again with a bounce. He strides through the 50. Again, he could have just eyed the sticks and gone for home there, Cal. And he offloaded that one. And another opportunity here for Harvey Cook to try and kick his second.
He's been good. He's been good. And he pops up like this all the time. And these are the type of moments that he just continues to pop up at. So I did get a question in the chat as well. Cal's trying to go on his phone but not make it too obvious. I'm okay with not making... And I'm texting a friend who's tuning in as well, so hi to them. But yeah, it's a good game, and it's actually come to life a bit over the last 10 minutes or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has indeed. As Cook, yeah, just snuck that one in. So that is a good finish there from Harvey Cook. Nice to see him slot another one as, SA hit the front. Vic Metro with a couple of quick goals in a row. A question about where Jack Slattery might fit into this draft mix, Cal?
I think clubs are still working that out, to be honest. And he's had his statement game, and every draftee needs one of them at some point. Last week. So... continue like he has today, and he's looked well equipped, to be honest. He looked well and truly comfortable today again against, I would say, much better opposition than the Yellows provided. So yeah, he's. I don't know exactly where he fits in terms of the draft pool just yet, but let's keep an eye on him.
One comment there saying it's going to be a great draft this year. It's always it's a subjective exercise to stack them up against one another. Cal, have you got a feel on how this draft rates compared to some of those that we've seen in recent years?
The challenge for me is that we might end up having three of the top six or so, or 6 or 7 players. Good play here from Vic Metro as well. They're on the move. How far can he go? It's a good kick. Butler's usually pretty good in those scenarios, and he didn't miss that one.
Yep.
I was about to say, Archie just swallows them up. He's one of the great body uses I've seen for a medium forward, a small forward, and there is some wizardness about that. I saw Nick Watson do it a million times over at junior level, and he continues to do it at the top level. Archie Butler, the architect, he's able to do that inside 50 and set things up with his body use and ball use, and he can read the way the ball's going to fly in the air too. So he's so dangerous inside 50. That was a good kick and a good play from Metro. What was the question again? We're talking about where this year's draft stacks up. Well, three of the top 6 or 7 players are tied to clubs. And if you include Ethan Matthews in that, geez, that was a good play out of the middle again. Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it?
Sharp,
they're
very sharp.
starting to really gain control in there. I'll finish this question eventually, Joel, but too many good moments here to keep talking about and talking through. The fact that these 3 players are tied makes that I think the carnival, we hope to see more and more players pop up. And so far we have seen a bit of that, but I don't think it has the star quality maybe that some of the great drafts in recent years have had. The 2023 one comes to mind straight away. But I think the depth of a pool around the top 30 to 40 is pretty consistent.
Yep. That 2023 draft just gets better by the week, doesn't it? The way that a few of the players from that draft are going at the moment. Logan Morris kicking goals again last night for the Brisbane Lions in a win. I reckon you could do a redraft of that draft just about on a week by week basis at the moment, and then your top 10 or 15 would change depending on who plays well and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's that was a special draft. A good question in the chat, Cal, and we're still trying to get Isaac Kako on the line, so we're working through that at the moment for all of those watching along with us this afternoon. Just about the pathway, so the pathway for junior players to get to this level at under-18 championships level. I mean, where does this start, and then what are the steps on the rungs up the ladder?
I mean, usually it starts at under 16s level. Good mark. Yeah, good play that was all set up by the smother there, wasn't it? From South Australia, so good play for them, and they get into the mix again. I mean, they're threatening here. They've managed to stay within contact a couple of times when they probably looked out of it. And Bradford's got the ball here, and he's another one who kicked 4 a couple of weeks ago in that demolition job of the Allies. So another medium, tall forward who's pretty rangy and can do things like that in overhead. He takes his opportunity there. So a good goal for South Australia. The pathway starts around that under 16 stage, and usually it's at their local clubs, whether it be Glenelg or West Adelaide, or if it's Sandringham Dragons or Oakley Chargers or Western Jets in these scenarios. Yeah, I think that I think that's part of what we'll see, and then the process keeps going through after that. So after that, we see the under-17s program get through, and then the under-18s, of course, the clubs start to pick up and get their recruiters out there, and to get to the point where you perform at the start of the season, and then you get your opportunities for Vic Metro. There's a couple of games, or South Australia in this case, there's a couple of games or trial games to get to that point of real selection.
Of course, a lot of sort of junior academies and that kind of thing going on in, especially in Victorian footy these days as well. So nice intercept mark there from big Billy Wigmore down back, and that's not good. Archie Butler pulling up with a sore left shoulder there. So he's taken the mark and looked like he slid in and maybe just the top of the left shoulder. So a little bit of a concern. Of course, Cody Walker's gone down with a shoulder injury in recent weeks. That's going to be one to follow over the next little while, I reckon, just to see how Archie Butler pulls up there and whether he can stay out. He's still out on the ground, but he looks really sore. That passage of play just moved past him at a rate of knots there. So, yeah, they're going to have to clearly get him off the ground and assess it at half-time. Disappointing for Archie Butler.
I mean, it was lucky and good news for Cody Walker a couple of weeks ago. He left that game against the Allies playing for Vic Country with some fears that he might have really hurt his shoulder. Managed to just have a bit of an AC joint that we'll hopefully see him back playing next week for Vic Country. Good play again here. Missed his opportunity now, but he's been good again.
Yeah, they've been powerful from stoppage, Vic Metro, in this term, Cal. It sort of feels like it's the Vic Metro game on their terms is all around stoppage, and for SA they want to, they've been really good in transition in this second term. Being able to generate some scoring opportunities from that phase of the game. Plenty of stuff in the chat, of course. Question about Ethan Matthews, who unfortunately is going to miss the remainder of the championships as well through injury. So we're without a few players at the moment. And of course, half-time is coming up, flat 25-minute quarters in this under-18 championship. So we'll have a couple of opportunities to get through some questions as we go. So keep them coming in, and if we've missed it, we will scroll up and we will get to them. So the 27th time you ask the question doesn't necessarily give you more chance than 26th, but we enjoy the enthusiasm of the questions. And here's another one for Jack Slattery. So a couple to his name already, and he's potentially filling his boots again here.
He knows the forward play, doesn't he? He knows the craft.
Yep.
When it's coming into him, he can read it in the air.
He just dragged that one to the left a little bit, but a really good start to this game for him. In a game that's ebbed and flowed in terms of the lead, and as you mentioned, I mean the difference between, and I don't say this pejoratively necessarily, a powerful pack mark there from Big Harry Van Hatten. The difference between playing at Ballarat in the middle of winter, Cal, and playing under the roof at Marvel Stadium is reasonably profound.
Yes. And they were at Ballarat last week, and they're at Ballarat next Wednesday. So I think the recruiters are pretty happy to be under the roof today as the final siren, or the final siren for the second quarter blows. So it's a Vic Metro on halftime. Indeed,
a great game so far. It's been really high quality. You see there Coda Edwards with 21 disposals, Memphis Webb with 16. A couple of goals to Anthony Long and to Jack Slattery. A couple of goals to Harvey Cook for Vic Metro, who is also leading them in terms of disposals with 12. So 10-point lead to Vic Metro at halftime. Joel Peterson and Cal Twomey here with you on AFL YouTube, our watch-along of the Marsh Under-18 National Championships. We'll step away from halftime. Keep the questions coming in the chat. We'll have the opportunity to pick through them as we go. It's halftime at Marvel Stadium. Vic Metro by 10. Thanks for your company here on our watch-along. We'll be back with you in a couple of moments' time. Halftime at Marvel Stadium. Great to have you with us. Our watch along here on the AFL's YouTube channel, the Marsh Under-18 National Championships. We've got Cal Sidequests, Twomey and Joel Bookshelf Peterson with you here at halftime. Cal just looking through the chat.
Don't you dare turn around and look at a book. I'm not allowing you to do it.
I actually prepared a couple of my favourite ones. We'll work through that here in the second half. But no, I'm going to absolutely derail us if I go to the bookshelf again.
I prepared something for us as well, Joel.
Yeah, good.
Hang on.
Just don't unplug yourself there. We've seen this show before.
You've got your favourite books. I've got my favourite brothers. He would be a good prospect. He's a bit of a fiery type. Bit of an Archie Butler type. And then there's Noel who sets things up, gets the ball roll. To Redwoods today, I'd say.
Good areas from you. I like that. A few as we get underway. So Vic Metro by 10 at half time. A couple of goals to Harvey Cook so far in this first half. Couple of goals to Long, couple to Slattery, and 21 touches for Coda Edwards as we get stuck into this second half. A few from the chat I just want to work through here quickly. I don't need a comment from you on all of them. The chat's gone rogue at halftime as well, Cal. I was watching it as it's devolved into some absolute mania, so let's just keep it kind and friendly in the chat, thanks. Huey Fitz says, thoughts on Houston Fitzgerald, a 190-centimetre athletic prospect for next year. That's clearly just a question about himself, so that's good areas from big Huey Fitz there. So we like that. There's a question about Tavita Roden, which I enjoyed. Where are we here? Whether he will go.
The question was about where's he going to go? Yeah, I mean he's got the Bombers option as an NGA player. He's got Port Adelaide as a father-son. He's got to weigh that up. I mean, Port Adelaide already has two priorities. Zemes Pilot has already committed to them as an NGA player, and then there's Louis Sellerpeck who's committed to them as a father-son. Both of those guys have sat out the Tasmania interest in them as a 17-year-old this year. So that in mind, opportunity for South Australia. With that in mind, Tavita Roden needs to work out if he's going to nominate, not actually going to get him. But he's got a year ahead to do that. So he's got the talent. We've said this with Riley on Gettable, I can't wait for the day Tavita Roden kicks a goal and David Roden does the big goal signal for it and does a worm afterwards. That's going to be a special moment.
Anthony Long almost with the forward half intercept there, and Gabe Patterson tries to finish it off and misses. I think, and the part of the question I enjoyed was father-son to Port Adelaide, NGA to Essendon, or father-son to the goal umpires were his three options for the next level. So he's got plenty of stuff in play as Tavita Roden, which is exciting for him. Question there about Jake Imey, who we touched on earlier about the fact that he wasn't part of that Crows Next Gen Academy. What's Anthony Long's draft range, Cal? That's another question from the chat from Jasper. So he's kicked a couple in this first half. He was good last time out as well. He looks an exciting prospect.
Yeah, he's got some real talent in the forward half. I would say he's more of a back end option at the moment in terms of the overall draft pool. But if he continues to play and kick goals in the second half of this season, then that could be a discussion for going early. At this point, I'd have him. I don't think he's in considerations inside that sort of first couple of rounds at this point. It's probably a free kick there to Gafer.
So Sam Gafer getting another opportunity. He's been reasonably well held down there so far in this one. A question that's come in a couple of times as well, Cal. In terms of talent, where would you have Dougie Cochran rated in comparison to previous sort of top picks of the last few drafts?
Good question. He's a very unique player, Dougie. Play key back, he can play key forward, he can play in the midfield. He wants to be a goal-kicking midfielder. I think he can be that. I think he will be that. He models himself on Marcus Bontempelli. He's a beautiful player to watch, Dougie. He's one of the best kicks I've seen come through the draft pool as we watch Sam Gafer roll in for a shot and drills it.
Dobbed it.
So 15 the lead for Vic Metro in this game. But Dougie Cochran would be nice out there for South Australia. I mean, they're doing it without him. He was named as part of their leadership group. Yeah, he's a special talent. And look, I'm a couple of weeks away from doing my rankings, but I think at this stage he'd be hard to displace at number one, given that what he showed last year as a bottom major, what he showed as a 16-year-old, suggests this could be a really unique player. I think of the top picks in recent years, there is some Will Dersma about him in terms of his height, his versatility, his ball use. But he's probably even a little bit taller than Will at the same age as well.
That's really exciting because what an impression Willem Dersma has made on the competition. Another question from the chat requesting a bit of a sing along from Oasis. Cal, you willing to participate there?
Well, you just got to roll with it and come and do these things. But no. I'll usually give us a little bit of time. Give me maybe last quarter. I'll think if I've got any Oasis type of references for the last quarter. I mean, what's a draft broadcast without an Oasis reference?
Very true, very true. Vic Country WA in the next game. A few questions about Clancy Snell have come through in the chat. Of course, relation to the great Australian Opals sharpshooter Belinda Snell from Gippsland. Tell us a little bit about Clancy Snell and his prospects.
He is related to her, but also related to the Dersmas. He's a cousin of the Dersma family, which might explain why he's so good in the air. I mean, the Dersmas can mark. All of them can mark, and Clancy's quite the same. So, yeah, he's a stopper, but he's also an interceptor. I think he's been one of the leading players in the Talent League this year. I watched him play a lot for Gippsland Power. He's cool, calm, composed. I watched him dominate a game out at Latrobe a few weeks ago as well against Brisbane's Academy. So, yeah, he's right inside that top 10. And if I did my 10 tomorrow, he'd be in there. Let's go through some of the names who'd be in the top 10 at the moment if I did it. So, I'd be in there. Van Hatten would be in no order, but I think Harold would absolutely be in there. He might be number 2, number 3, number 4. He might actually be number 3. Walker would be in there. Coda Redwoods would probably be in there as well. Who else is in there? Noah Williams would be close. Ethan Herbert would be close. I think Ethan Matthews would be in there. So there's a few names in there. Archie Butler would be in there as well. So that's probably consistent ones, but I'm looking forward to putting it on the page. I mean, I love doing the form guide, a ranking that we've done post-championships since 2018, all the way back in the Tom Boyd, Josh Kelly, Jack Billings, Marcus Bontempelli, Colin Jasny, draft back then, James Aish, Matt Sarenberg, Nathan Freeman, Christian Salem.
Nice. I thought Matt Sarenberg was going to be a real player, Cal. I must admit, that was one of my all-time draft misses in the very low-brow sort of way that I've followed the draft over the years compared to someone like yourself. Another opportunity here for Jake Miller after a really impressive mark, and he just can't stick that one home. Mark on the last line.
I wouldn't want to go through all my draft misses as well, because there'd be many. And that doesn't know. I mean, we're talking about guys who are 18 and projecting forward is part of the fun and part of the skill, but also it's the art form that is inexact. Otherwise, it'd be the easiest game in the world. You finish last, you get the best player. Finish second last, you get the second best player. It doesn't work like that.
No, not at all. A couple of questions about Ethan Herbert, who you just mentioned there, in terms of your rankings and the form guides. A couple of questions about the SAVWA under 16 game, Cal. Did you have eyes on that?
No, I saw some of the numbers, but didn't catch any of the edits as yet. He's Gayfer again.
Yes, Sam Gayfer getting another opportunity here.
Do you see the Paddy Voss? Do you see the Paddy Voss likeness?
Yeah. There's just a bit of a strut. A question, or just a comment here, Cal, sort of Q&A style. Cal, can you please start commentating? Your voice is heaven-like. I'm just going to leave that one there. As Sam Gayfer trots in, lines them up again, and misses that time.
The answer is no to that statement.
You could do audiobooks, Cal.
You reckon?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'd listen to you reading Harry Potter or something like that. What do you reckon? I could get you a book off the shelf here if you want to do an audiobook.
Let's just read through some stats from Vic Metro's last game. Albert McGowan, 25 disposals.
I've got some Albert material for you soon as well. I've got some Albert material for you.
Lockie Burrows, 18 disposals. Let's go through some of the stats actually today, because if you're catching up, we're not doing the play-by-play. We're having a bit of fun with this as it rolls through. Coda Redwood's leading the game with 22 touches. Had 15 to quarter time. Amazing.
Huge.
Start to the game. Here's Miller again as these Vic Metro forwards are finding real space. And
good kick.
To Blake Justice. I like to call him Big Justice. He brings the boom.
Yes, that's solid.
I've been waiting to roll that out all year. He brings the boom.
How's his finishing go though, Cal? Do you reckon he's a chance to slot this one?
He should finish this one.
Tied to Essendon, Blake Justice?
He is, yep, through the NGA Academy. He spent some time there. He's been injured this year. He's missed. Oh, come on. He's brought the doom on. For those out there who know the Costco guys like I do, I'm more of a Rizzler fan, but I don't Costco guys. No, he's a member of their NGA Academy. We didn't manage to get a member of their NGA Academy on the line earlier in Isaac Kako, but they've had a reasonable run in recent years, haven't they? Of course, they passed up the opportunity to get Adam Swade last year. He went to Fremantle, but they got Hussein Al-Ashkar, who's been dropped for this week. I was a bit surprised by that. And then they've had some other players in recent years as well. They've had ties to. They've got Kobe Buick next year as well, who's part of their planning and looking ahead to 2027.
He's Charlie Bradford sending one deep. Again, Billy Wigmore's been important down there so far today. Impressive as a key defender. They can be kind of the hard ones at this level. The midfielders and the forwards always stand out, and it can be a little bit harder to project some of the defenders, Cal. But Billy Wigmore is one who's made a pretty good fist of it. And we saw young Sam Devers bouncing off halfback there and providing a little bit of spark for this Vic Metro team as a nice little rundown tackle there. Sam Devers from a talented sporting family. His brother Tristan has played basketball for the Brisbane Bullets in recent years. He's over at college. He moved to Seattle last week. He's playing his college ball at Washington. I messaged Tristan before just to try and get a little bit of goss on young Sam, who's playing his first Vic Metro game. He said there's nothing particularly weird that he does, but he is very disciplined. He says that he will drink 3 things in life: water, orange juice, and chocolate protein milk. They're like the 3 staples of his diet, and that's pretty much what he lives off. So I don't know whether a club dietitian will get a hold of him to say we need to, add some more stuff in there if he gets picked up at the next level. But good to see Sam out there and going well to start this second half.
And then you do that type of due diligence on every player out there for the next time we do this as well.
Yep. All right. Not all of them just happen to follow me on Instagram, though, unlike Sam's brother. So that's we might be in a little bit of trouble there. The further we go down the list.
Jack Slattery's got it again. He just finds space. He hasn't had that much of the ball, but he has had an impact on the game. This would be his 4th shot on goal for the contest. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 so far from only 5 disposals. So just manages, like we've mentioned a couple of times, the Logan Morris about him, getting on the end of it, finding that natural forward craft. He's got it. And a good finish.
Yeah, that's a good kick. Good kick. So 192, Cal, and am I right in saying he's playing as an overager, so he's a 19-year-old this year?
Yep. So overlooked last year. And I think just through lack of real out quality in games last year probably was the main reason. But this year, and this is where I do think there is opportunities. I like the opportunities for draftees that clubs allow and the AFL allow for these guys who are overlooked for certain reasons, come back, get an opportunity like this and take it, because, there's a lot of clubs watching here today, a lot of recruiters here watching across. They have been the carnival too. So he's definitely on track for All-Australian status at the Under-18s carnival. His ability to hit the scoreboard the past couple of rounds. So in contention much more than he was last year.
A message in the chat from Will, who says any harm in commenting on the game. As we said, Will, we're not here to do the play-by-play. You can get that through the website and the AFL Live official app. As Gus Teixeira just strolls in and pops that one through. That's class, Cal. That is class.
Well, this is why he's a number one pick contender in the open pool. He might be a number one pick contender anyway. There's the cheer squad.
Nice.
I imagine they're all St Kevin's players. So they're up and about. They're ready for the Socceroos. No, is that a number 7 Socceroos?
I thought it might have been a number 7. Was it a Brazil jersey?
It might have been. I'm colourblind, so it looked like a bright colour. But I would say that this is a cheer squad that has followed him loudly and proudly, because I went and watched St Kevin's play a couple of weeks ago, and they are one of the loudest cheer squads. They were chanting, "Oh, Gussie Toshe," and then that one was leading to, "He's going top 5. He's going top 5. Gussie Teixeira, he's going top 5."
Nice.
And he might have been going top 1. He's going that well. So, he's a and there's absolutely no doubt that he's right in that mix. I think of a player that he kind of reminds me of, just to give everyone some, reference. I don't know if it's a little bit of a young Goey when he was coming through, that powerful / midfield option. I think Harry Sheasel, who played a lot of his junior level footy as a forward and had a game of 6 goals and 28 touches once, I think. Harry, I think there's some similarities there with him too. So he's pretty dynamic, powerful, kicks goals like he did just then. He's a nice finisher. Yeah, it's quite amazing to see his rise continue.
Yeah, it's been a huge year for him already for Gus Teixeira, and I don't know if they can get that kind of we could get some of the chants going at the AFL level, couldn't we, Cal? Sort of World Cup soccer style. You might need a few mates. You might need a few more people in that cheer squad potentially when he gets into the into AFL level.
Pretty empty room in this one at the moment if we're going to get any cheer squad personally, but I can hear him. I can hear him from upstairs at Marvel.
Nice. A question in the chat. Where's Will Melody? It says, where do you boys have Will Melody ranked? You don't care what I think, so I won't even bother. But Cal, Will Melody, where have you got him in the mix?
Yeah, Will's playing in the next game with Vic Country. So he's a top 10 contender as well. Nice square up there. Gafe is on the end of it again. Was that Baxter Struck who passed it in as well? I think it might have been. But yeah, Will Melody, he's definitely in that sort of top 10 chance and opportunity for him. He's a medium, tall forward, rangy player, can go up the ground, can swing back. I've seen him take some great marks overhead. So yeah, he's got a lot going for him, Will.
Sam Gafer with another shot here. 1 goal, 2 so far for Gafer. He shouldn't be having any troubles from here, and he made the goal umpire work a little bit. So 2 goals, 2 for Gafer. 24-point lead now for Vic Metro. You mentioned Baxter Shook there. We can see him on screen with the long blocks and the orange and white boots. Bottom ager, got a couple of brothers playing VFL in Mitch and Tyson, and they all play in a pretty similar bash and crash style way, Cal. What do you like about young Baxter's game?
It's the bash. Yeah, I mean, he does play like that. He absolutely dominated for Vic Metro last year at under 16s level at the Carnival. Has had some injuries to start this season, so hasn't been as free-flowing a start to his year as he would have hoped. But yeah, good to see him out there today and the type of opportunity that he deserves, because he's well and truly in the top rung of players for next year. Tassie, he's another one on the Tassie watch list who's right in contention to be one of their 17-year-olds. He's a beast at the stoppages and clearances, and he's got a really nice left foot kick. So a little bit of Jack Viney about Baxter when Jack was coming through all those years ago.
Gee, impressive pick up there from Angus Tippett for Vic Metro. He just palmed that footy as he went down low to pick it up. And then Big Louis Hounsom, he was quiet in the first half. He plays with a real presence to his game, and Miller's on the end of it again. Louis Hounsom, another who's spent a second year in this Vic Metro program, as Jake Miller will over the next couple of years as well, potentially. But he's one who's made a bright start to this second half, and Jake Miller's had a few opportunities up front today.
He has. I'm backing him in to finish this one as well. Let's see.
Yeah, lefties don't miss those.
Yep.
Lefties do not miss those, Cal. So 2
really
for Jake Miller
so far. Yep, that's right, and has had some chances for others too. These tall forwards for Vic Metro have really come into the game and worked well together. A 5-goal lead for them now, so almost putting this game beyond doubt. Remembering, of course, that the 25-minute flat quarters make it hard to chase down a lead in a last term. There's no 33-minute drag-on thrillers at under-18 level in these championships. It's bang, 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 move on to the next game. But yeah, the tools have lifted, and you mentioned Louis Handsome. He actually punctured a lung and broke some ribs in an AFL Academy game a little while ago that set back his start to this year. Had a bit of a run at the start of the year, played for the AFL Academy, then missed about 6 or 8 weeks with that injury, but yeah, right involved again.
Oh. And another one up front. Gave theirs a free kick in that marking contest, though, and I like that from Big Mitch Harris, just wanting to go on with it a touch. Here's Sam Tassoni, who kicks that one out of bounds on the full. Sam Tassoni, a Victorian, Cal, playing for South Australian from the Irimple Footy Club up in the Sunrager region. So he's doing the Dylan Stevens and going from Victoria to South Australia. Just one of the vagaries of the sort of zoning. And that's a really impressive mark from Gafer. Stuck in the pack, and there's just a little bit of a glimpse into his contested potential.
Yeah, this is what he's got. I'm a fan. I've said all the way through today, I'm a fan. He competes in the air. He does things like that. Sometimes the finishing is the next part. So let's wait.
Nice.
Bang, easy done. So this is I won't go as far to say it's a statement game for him, but he's showing what he's shown at Talent League level and taking it up another level here for Vic Metro. So a good performance from him, and I think this is one that, yeah, if clubs didn't have him around that sort of top 20 to 25 range, then they'd have to be thinking about it now because, yeah, he's a competitor. And a lot of the tools who come through at this age, Joel, I think they grow into their competitiveness in some ways. Like the under-18 system in many ways is shaped and formed around these midfielders who dominate games, and they're always the draftees that you can bank on more because you know what you're getting. They're closer to full production. And then the same for early draftees as well when they step into the AFL level. We know that the tools take time. You know, that's one of the oldest and longest sayings, but the way a tool can dominate at this level or play like this, I think says a bit about how they're set up, because generally the players who do stand out at AFL under 18 level are the ones who are the medium types or midfield types.
5 goals to 1 in this quarter now for Vic Metro, so they've really put the foot down here in this third term in the way that they can. So Gafer's got 3, Teixeira's got 2, Cook and Miller each have 2 as well, and Louis Hounsome's helped get them going in this game. Memphis Webb with another kick inside forward 50 there, Callum. That's a really impressive mark from Tyson Bradley, who's been good. Webb's had a fair bit of the footy coming off an ACL injury. Where does he sort of fit into calculations for this SA team, do you think?
Spider. Yeah, yep. He's been good across the carnival too. I mean, yeah, I think he's been a bit of a surprise packet, to be honest, for those who haven't seen him play as much. Yeah, he's pushed himself into that sort of top 30 mix, I reckon, Memphis, and been a standout for South Australia again today. That was a good grab from Tyson Bradley, wasn't it? Just composure, bit of courage, going back with the ball. Yeah, I've got to get a few questions as well on the chat line, as we might call it, around Archie Butler, and I saw someone say, where does he slide to now? Let's wait and see what
yes.
what the severity is of his shoulder injury before we determine him to be a slider. Look, if it's nothing too serious and he misses some weeks, I don't think it'll make too much impact. Even if he missed the rest of the season, I think recruiters have a very good gauge on what type of player Archie is at the moment. So I don't think it'll change too much. And what he is a match-winning type. And the small forward has potentially never been more open to going early in the draft than right now, because of what Nick Watson's doing and done, and what other small forwards, the value that's placed on them at all levels across the AFL. Brisbane are winning premierships with small forwards and powerful dynamics forward line of all different shapes and sizes.
I'm aware we're close to three-quarter time within a minute. Do you think Nick Watson being taken at pick number 5 and being the success that he is has kind of redefined how the draft views small forwards?
If it hasn't, it probably should. I mean, he is a special talent, so not everyone's going to be like him, and very few will ever go as early as that if they're that sort of size at 170 centimetres. He says he is. It might even be 168. We'll give him 170 for now, but even if it's that, he's a special talent, and I think it probably just opens the minds to different clubs that if someone can do it like that, why can't the next person as well? I mean, the Boomer Harvey effect. Everyone was going to be the next Boomer Harvey for a long time. And in some cases, they end up pretty good players, the ones that we thought were going to be down that type of player. But he probably opened the... And even Boomer had a relationship with Nick Watson through his junior years as well, as they got to know each other through the junior programs and coming through those sort of systems there in the pathway system. So, yeah, there's that'll help him. But the next bracket of small forwards should be pretty thankful for what Nick Watson's been doing.
About to get to three-quarter time here, and Big Louis Hounsome, he's had a big quarter. Can he finish off here with a goal after the three-quarter time bell? He's going to have to strike it from right on the 50, and that's going to sail wide. So 36 points, the biggest gap that they've had in the game, Vic Metro. A 5-goal third term really broke the game open. Their key forwards are taking control. Their midfielders are on top as well at the moment. They're 6 goals up as we turn for home. We'll stay with you here on the Watch Along on the AFL's YouTube channel. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Joel Peterson and Cal Twomey with you. A short break, and the last quarter is after this. Three-quarter time of our watch-along. 1 quarter to go between Vic Metro and SA. 36 points is the margin the way of Vic Metro. They open the game up in that third term. Joel Peterson and Cal Twomey with you. Great to have you with us on the AFL's YouTube channel. Of course, you can get commentary of this and the next game via the AFL app and afl.com.au. 3 quarters in the books, Cal. Vic Metro's forward line taking a hold in that term. Gafer's got 3, Cook's got 2, Miller's got 2. Archie Butler off with a shoulder injury was the news from earlier on in terms of ball winners. Coda Edwards with 23, Memphis Webb with 18, Jake Iamy with 17, Tippett and Shrook both have 16 for Vic Metro. As we get the last quarter underway, what are you looking for over our last 25 minutes of footy here?
A bit of a response from South Australia would be a priority, I think. They don't want to be blown away, but I think the class level of Vic Metro, as we see again here from Cook, and great in-ball from Miller as well there. The class level of Vic Metro is well and truly ahead of where South Australia is. He'll finish this off, Cook, and get them further ahead. Been really good. A live wire, a player who has elevated his stocks across this carnival for sure.
I like what he's doing. A couple of questions about Sam Tassoni, who we mentioned, the Victorian in this SA team, about his overview and where he might fit in here. Border at PAC is Sam Tassoni, playing his footy at North Adelaide of recent times. How do you think he fits into to everything, Cal?
Solidly. I'm looking to see sort of what that point of difference is in terms of where he fits in inside the first 25 to 30. I feel like he's probably a little bit further back from that, but other clubs might have different views on that. But you can't deny his consistency across this season. So I think he's probably in that back half of the options though at this point.
A couple of questions asking about Isaac Kako as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a hold of Isaac just with some technical issues, but he did pop into the chat, and we just couldn't get that one sorted. So I'm sure we'll be able to track down Isaac at some stage throughout the championships. Can we talk Phantom Form Guide, Callum? You mentioned it before, but your process from here. So, how does this take shape over the championships for you in terms of how you track how players are performing?
Yeah, I mean, you generally enter with all this Slattery and other missed out on the full. You generally enter the carnival with a fair idea of the players watch in terms of that top 15 to 20 and the names that are going to be around there, because a lot of ones on the board. But then the championships is the point that others elevate, and this is why we love this point of the year. And this year as well, they've condensed the structure of the competition. It's over less weeks. There's some more double headers like we're getting today. Oh, bit of a drop mark there. Is that Lockie Hicks in there? I think he's been pretty good today, Lockie Hicks, actually, and has had a good season too, so he'd be annoyed about that. He's had a good couple of clearances through the middle of the ground and moments in the centre square, so a bit of frustration for them, him in that moment. But yeah, the Phantom Form Guide has different tiers for me. I think there's probably 10 to 15 that I would lock in regardless of how they went at the carnival, because the bigger picture is that they are belonging in that point of the draft. But maybe then there's a swinging vote of 30 players that you head into the carnival thinking these guys could be finding that sort of 15 to 20 off the rankings. And then the Wednesday after the carnival finishes, so about 2.5 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now, is when we'll put out the top 25 list. And I'm looking forward to it, actually, because I've got some different thoughts on where these guys are all going to fit in. Another good grab there from Miller. But yeah, got some ideas, and I think I've given a fair hint today that I think Gus Teixeira is going to be ranked very, very highly in my order. And it might be 2, it might be 1, it might be 4, but he's going to be in that mix for sure. And I think he's elevated himself to be worthy of that across the carnival.
It's a really impressive play there from Jordan Knapp. Just didn't have the finish. Harris dropped the mark, but the nice little takeaway and moving it inside forward 50. I don't know how you'd say this name in the chat, Cal. Is it a D and a face there and a B? Just asking if there's any wind assistance at either end under the roof at Marvel Stadium. Yeah, good. Yep, tick that one off the list. That's not a bad little bit of
you know what,
little bit of work.
I've heard from some clubs up there that it's swirly. It's swirly. The breathe. They can actually feel the cold breath from one to the other.
Yep.
They should have. Oh, good grab on the lead there. They should have sort of hobbled up. Of course, it was Teixeira with the marking above the head there and the powerful moment. This is what he can do. Let's see if he finishes and ends up with another goal, because what we're seeing is another performance that puts you elevate. Can you get any higher than what I'm talking about, this guy? I don't think you can.
Well, good question in the chat as we see this from Gus Teixeira, Cal. Who would you pick first between Gus and Archie Butler is the question. We'll watch the kick from Teixeira to see whether he can put another one through. So 2 goals, 2 for Gus as he misses that one left. How do you stack up Gus and Archie?
It's tight. They're different, but it's tight. At the moment, I'd probably have, if I was doing my order, I think I'd have Teixeira 1 spot ahead of Butler, but it's marginal in there, and I think both would be worthy of that first pool player in the draft. Thinking, of course, we're talking about open pool. That's not the Walker bid and the Cochrane bid, and Matthews isn't too far behind them either.
There's so much talent right at the top of that draft, as you mentioned, going to be linked to other clubs. A couple of weeks for the first Fantapical form guide, so chuck that in the diary. Louis Hounsome not able to get on the end of it. My man Albert McGowan's been a little bit quiet. He had a touch in that last passage of play. He's bidding to be the 18th Albert in the VFL AFL history, Cal. That sounds like a name he should have been. He should have been playing for South Melbourne at about 1920. The best Albert was probably Albert Collier. He was a Brownlow medalist in 1929. Albie Panham played some good footy for Collingwood, went on to coach Richmond. Even the likes of Albert Weston, who played 4 games in 1952. Albie Scadden played 3 games in 1914. There's not a lot of Alberts that have gone on with it, but hopefully our man Albert McGowan can channel the name, his name, and really go on with it and be the best of those Alberts potentially.
Well, I think he gets drafted. Yeah, he's done enough for me to say that he's going to get drafted. It's just about where, but he's still had moments today in slices, and Kevin Sheehan, the doyen of the draft and the absolute talent guru, always speaks about these games being about showing the slices and moments, and he's done enough today to. And look, probably the Coda Redwoods first quarter aside, we haven't seen too many absolutely dominate in terms of possession. Another goal there for Jack Slattery.
Number 4 for Slattery.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's an impressive couple of weeks. So he, again, now against stronger opposition, has proven that he can find a way.
Kevin always talks about players that have that kind of pick-me moment. The example that he always goes to is Joel Amati at the end of his championships year, where he had that one game, the one game where he absolutely brained it, and clubs thought, he is a player. But sometimes you've got these guys who put together this impeccable campaign and they're right at the front, and then there's just the glimpse of potential with some others, Cal. So so much of this business is about projection, right? What could a player be if we can get him into the system?
That's right. I mean, that's the recruiters' jobs. That's why they're all there today. That's why that's the thrill of the chase in many ways. So here's Lockie Burrows, who blinked off half-back in recent times, probably got remodelled to be a half-back to get into this Vic Metro team, having dominated at school footy and local footy as a midfielder. I've seen him play a lot of midfield time there, but he's been good off half-back. He's tough, he's composed. He makes good decisions, another one there. So he's a player who, with the blonde flash of hair, looks just like Isaac Heaney did in 2015 and 14, but different type of player, of course.
It's an interesting point you make about, I guess, players as we see South Australia control it through Tassoni in the back half, and that one's picked off pretty well by Sam Devers. Really good bit of work, and another one for Miller. So he's got 3, and Sammy Devers setting that one up beautifully. A lot of these kids come in and they've been midfielders and the best player in their team through a lot of their junior footy, and they get into this Vic Metro side or whatever it is, and it's loaded, and they've all of a sudden got to go and play in a different position and learn a new position. So there is that adjustment period for some of these players, like a Lockie Burrows, who gets told, hey, actually, to play in this team and maybe even to play at the next level, you're going to go and need to learn to do something else, which when they're trying to impress and it's sort of, you're trying to put your absolute best out on display, it's a big adjustment for some of these players.
Big time. It's a great point you make, and it's also a point the clubs make with the draftees throughout the interview process as well. How did you handle that? Were you frustrated? Did you take it on the chin? Did you see it as a challenge? How did you perform under that weight? Was it something that you really said, okay, I'm going to show that I belong in a better spot, or am I going to play the team role? Because the clubs and recruiters see and understand what's happening out there in terms of how these players are meant to be playing, and they're doing the one percenters, the moments, the selfless acts. Good finish there from South Australia. So that they see those little moments and understand them, where I don't think some juniors understand that all the way through their program either. So yeah, I think that's really important, and a good goal there for Harvey Croker.
Yeah, premiership player with West Gambia a couple of years ago in the Limestone Coast League down there in southeastern South Australia. A couple of questions or comments coming through on the chat. JP, and this is one after my heart, says, were SA nearly caught napping? Sorry, I'll see myself out. Good on you, JP. That's nice work, napping with a KNA-double-P. So very solid. Someone's saying love the Teal Cup, which is a bit of a throwback to sort of mid-90s under-18 footy. So we like that. And others saying, are there any skillful back flankers with pace we should keep our eye on? And I think our discussion off Lockie Burrows might have covered that one off pretty nicely, as Lawrence Andriani kicks inside the forward 50, and another big fly there is Burrows getting involved at ground level, and a really good tackle from Slattery. So that's an important thing, Cal. So he goes up in the marking contest, and then he is first back to the footy to apply that pressure. I reckon it sort of feels like one of those things that recruiters would be just making a note of that play potentially in their books.
I like sometimes standing near the recruiter's wing at Marvel, and I'll go up to get the second game after this, but I like it when you see those moments and then you see the heads go down and the pens come out. And sometimes some of the more modern brethren tops of their iPads or their some other form of technology and jot it down. But that's 5 goals now for Slattery. A really good game for him, and he's performed and presented really well across the whole game. But in those moments where you see the back-to-back efforts, it's like, okay, circle, underline, jot the point down and say there's more to the moment than just the end result. And this is the case. In that case, as you say, flew for the mark, was quick to his feet and managed to lay. That's a fantastic moment for him. And look, they have been well beaten today, and the key forwards at the other end of the ground have probably taken the limelight, but Jack Slattery has backed up his performance from last week, absolutely.
Yeah, he's 11 goals in 2 weeks for Jack Slattery. Another one off the chat. Cal, how much are the Crows winning by tonight against West Coast? No, unrelated, I would say. You got a tip for me tonight between the Crows and the Eagles in our AFL doubleheader?
Well, focus more on this doubleheader than the AFL doubleheader, but I'm tipping the Swans and the Crows tonight. Yep.
All right.
You?
That's good. Yeah, I'll go with that double, but I reckon the Eagles will be a tough out west as opposed to in Victoria. Can I ask, what's your favourite thing about covering the draft, Cal? I mean, you've done this for such a long time, and I followed your work before I've had the pleasure of working with you in recent years, but what's your favourite thing about covering the draft each year?
My favourite thing about covering the draft is getting to know different kids and families who I would otherwise have never got to know. So that for me is something that's really enjoyable. You get to see the passion, you see the journey. As we watch now, another moment for Vic Metro goes through. Good goal there. It's for me, it's about those storylines and getting to see the different type of stories that pop up. And Toby Krasner has been, as we say, a storyline in the second half of the sort of last couple of months in terms of the lead into this carnival and throughout the carnival as well for Vic Metro. So he's a player who, symbolises some of the storylines that I've just about to talk about, like these guys who come there or pop up late and maybe don't have the hype of other players at the start of the year, but then become really interesting storylines that I like covering about the draft. And every year there's a whole new set of stories, a whole new set of kids with a whole new set of backgrounds. I was lucky enough to talk to the AFL Academy boys team a little while ago. I gave them a big rev-up speech. They went out and lost by about 80 points,
nice.
I think. So I'll be invited back. but I think
by the opposition, Cal.
Yeah, but someone did ask a similar question, and I said that look, I've got to know a lot of players, and I won't name here, but who I otherwise wouldn't have had anything to do with. So that's always an enjoyable part of it for me.
Yeah, it is great to see just the variety of ways and the variety of sort of pathways there are. Of course, we think, a lot of these kids will stroll into the best teams and through the pathway, but there's a lot of different ways through. And then you even see the different pathways on the other side of it. Someone like Xavier Bammett last year, captain Sandringham Dragons, overlooked out of Vic Metro in the draft, and then, gets picked up in the mid-season draft. And the guys that get picked up as mid-season or, mature age recruits as well. So there's so many different ways into this. And that's it is a really interesting part of what we're lucky enough to do in covering it, as Blake Justice lines up and misses that one to the right. He's a little bit frustrated with himself after that as well.
That's two big dooms.
Yes, true. A question about any changes to your predicted top 10s based on the past few weeks, Cal. So we talked about sort of Teixeira probably vaulting toward the top of that. Is there anyone else who's been a real sort of, for you, someone who's gone from being maybe mid-range in the draft to right at the top of your thinking this year?
Not necessarily yet. I mean, I think Coda Edwards has shown what I thought he would and what everyone thought he probably would, so he'd be around there. I think Matthews, before he got injured with that foot stress fracture, stress reaction for the Giants Academy and the Allies, is a player who probably has pushed himself up with a couple of big games in recent weeks as well, so he's probably one. Leo Steed for Western Australia, I wanted to shout him out. I think he's someone who's pushed himself right into that top 10 to 12 range, and to me might be the best WA player in it alongside them and Melody. So there's a couple of players there who are right in the group who, I necessarily pushed themselves up, but maybe cemented their talents and their standing amongst the group. So those are a couple. Slattery's obviously put himself on the map, I think, the last couple of weeks. Gaffer should have marked that one, but he's able to do the follow-up like he just did then and has had a pretty good day out. So there's been enough, and I think that's what we've been good for as well, to be honest. And George Dimer's been another one for Vic Metro the last little bit who has done that too.
Yeah, he had a great first half, and Jake Miller with a little freebie here off the entry from Gus Teixeira. So we'll see whether Miller can kick another one here and add to what he's done so far in this game. So he's got 3 already. The lefty comes in and pops that one through for number 4. So again, not draft eligible this year necessarily, but there might be a few people in dark green and gold with a little Rumman on their shoulder, Cal, that might like what Jake Miller's done.
Yeah, they should. I mean, this is an extension of what he's been doing at lower levels, Talent League, and also with Brighton Grammar. I've watched him play a bit there too, but yeah, he's. I think he's an obvious one to be taking as part of the under-17s group. If you put together a performance like this, talk about the game being naturally towards the midfielders. Well, it's even more so for the bottom ages, but he's come in and looked absolutely assured, hasn't he? So yeah, really strong performance from Jake Miller tonight.
Oh, Jacob McNichol with a little evasion and gets right to the top of the 50 and is brought back. Not sure whether he ran too far then, maybe. You don't often see those ones paid. Anyway, the opportunity goes begging for South Australia. Question in the chat, Cal, about you wrote about Van Dijk last year in November. He's been injured, grown to 190 centimetres. Is he still a first-round pick?
He'd have to get moving, I think. The injury has hurt his standing for this year, and returned last week, I think, from a long-term injury. So, yeah, we'll have to get moving to be still inside that top first-round range, but does have the height, and that is his point of difference. So looking forward to him hopefully being able to get back to some of his best stuff, what's been a frustrating start to the year for him.
Another impressive mark from Tyson Bradley, who's been really good down back for Vic Metro. A couple of questions on Tom Caracella for next year. Cal, what can you tell us about him?
Well, obviously the son of Blake and brother of Noah, who was part of the draft a couple of years ago. Peterson gets his goal on the goal line for South Australia there. So cleans up there, Gabe Peterson. Yet to see too much in terms of where he ranks in next year's group for Thomas Caracella. But the Bombers, of course, have a couple of focuses next year in terms of their points. I mean, Kobe Buick out there for Vic Metro today, if not for a back injury that has limited him in the last couple of months. So that's been frustrating, but they've been ultra cautious with that. I understand his dad is actually at the ground today, but watching as part of the Essendon recruiting team, Darren Buick joined the Bombers recruiting team in a part-time role. I actually also believe that Craig Vozzo is there as part of the Essendon team, his role there. Whether that role is to maybe return as a head of football, we wait to see, but that's certainly been on the cards, and those discussions have been had at the Bombers in recent times. Another big shark tap out there. It was beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, Jordan Knapp's been doing that on a regular basis throughout the course of the day. And here's Dimer showcasing a little bit of his evasion. My man Albert trying to become the 18th Albert in VFL AFL history. And he misses that one away to the left. Big Harry Van Hatten, haven't quite seen the best of him today, Cal.
No, so what's his numbers? I wanted to look at this before. So I did have the numbers up before. 1 second. I want to get this right before we...
5 touches, so 26 hit outs, 5 touches, 7 contested possessions for Big Harry's day.
Yeah, it's a little bit symptomatic of what his carnival's been like to this point. Dominant in the aerial, the hit outs element, but unable to really get going in terms of the impact around the ground or forward. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this affects where clubs sort of view where he was placed. I still believe he's going to be an early selection, just a matter of where. Maybe it's not as rolled gold to be the first live pick as maybe it might have looked a couple of months ago. And of course, traditionally rucks don't go that early, do they, in terms of that top handful of selections. Cooper Duff-Tyler was a bit of an exception last year. Luke Jackson, of course, back in 2019 has proved to be a bit of that top 3 pick from Melbourne. So there's those, but it's pretty rare. Another physical moment.
Just continues to do that Paddy Voss comparison. Some nice work. Nice little intercept mark here from Sam Devers, who's been good in his return for Metro. Just looking through some of these numbers too, Cal, as we come toward the end of this game. Big Ethan Herbert's had 7 clearances, so showcasing what he can do at ground level as well as his work in the ruck. 14 disposals, 2 marks for Ethan, who we haven't seen in front of the footy all that much so far. Jake Imey's worked his way to the most touches on the ground with 27, having just missed a shot on goal a couple of minutes ago. McNichol's shown some dash there as he struts inside the 50 and can't get that one home. Knapp's had it 20 times for Vic Metro. Tippett's had it 19 times. Shrook's had it 18 as a bottom major. And we've spoken a couple of times about Harvey Cook, who's had it 18 times to go with his 3 goals as well. Anyone that comes out of this day with their stock enhanced from your perspective?
Yeah, a few. I mean, I think Jake Imey's been good under pressure of half back, so he's been excellent. Coda Edwards for South Australia. Let's go through the South Australian group first as the losing team before we maybe see another scoring opportunity here for Vic Metro. Hold 1 second. Oh, hit the post. This is what we hold. You're the broadcasting guru here, Joel. So that's why I took your lead. Just let the moment play out.
Thought my man Albert might have snuck that one through, but no good.
So South Australia, Memphis Webb's been pretty good as well. I think Lawrence Andriani as a bottom major, 18 touches, can find the ball, 5 clearances there. So that's been impressive. from a Vic Metro point of view, this guy.
Clunk.
This guy. Bang. Vossi, the prancing pony Mark II.
Yes, he might be like the prancing foal or something, this fella.
He doesn't have quite as much prance, does he? But
yes.
He has presence, I would say. No, he's been really good. I think he's been a standout. This will be his 6th shot on goal. I hope he kicks it because 4 goals would do his day justice. Sam Gafer, Jake Miller as a bottom majors kicked 4 already. Harvey Cook as well was kicked 3, so I think he's been right up there. And again, the moments from Gus Teixeira have stood out for me as right up there. So those guys have been good. Toby Krasner's considered what's been a really good carnival so far. Good goal. Well done to Sam Gafer on that one as well. Unfortunately, Archie Butler went down with that collarbone injury. We suspect a collarbone shoulder injury in the first half, so has missed the second half of the game. I'm sure he'll get some scans on that in the next couple of days. Your man rocks up every week and plays pretty well, so he's another one. And Jordan Knapp through the midfield, I think, has been a highlight too. Yeah,
mixed day for my men. Our Albert's been okay, and the big fella Job Janeway has been a little bit more quiet. So he might have a little bit of time on the motorbike after this particular game down in Mount Gambier to sort himself out. It is a big win for Vic Metro, though. In the end, it was a close first half. They get it done by 46 points. So 4 goals to Gafer, 4 to Miller, 3 to Cook, 2 to Gus Teixeira with 14 disposals, 2 goals, 2 he finishes with. Archie Butler, 1 goal, 2 in that first half before he went off with that shoulder injury. Krasner kicked a goal to go with his 17 disposals. For SA, Slattery kicked 5, so 11 goals in 2 games for Jack Slattery. Anthony Long kicked 2, both in the first half. Gabe Patterson with a late one, Charlie Bradford with 1, and Croker with 1. We rattled off those ball winners as well. Before we wrap things up, Cal, just give us your assessment of that game and that performance from Vic Metro. So they go to 3-0 now. They would have to be favourites to go on with this, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can clinch this title. It's going to be a little wait before they actually get that opportunity, though, because their final game is in a couple of weeks on Sunday, July 19. That's against Vic Country. Vic Country have to win the next game against WA and then win next day at Mars Stadium in Ballarat against South Australia to be making that last game at the Carnival way over in July 19 a grand final of sorts. So Vic Metro absolutely with one hand on the title so far, and deservedly, because they were dominant this afternoon. Played a great game, an all-rounded game. I love the tall forwards. I thought they was the standouts for Vic Metro, and South Australia had some players who projected pretty strongly as well and performed strongly too. So enjoyed it, Joel. Hopefully the people who were out there watching us on the live watch-along enjoyed it as well. So hopefully we'll be back soon.
Absolutely. Hey, just before we get out of here, Cal, one name for each of Vic Country and WA to watch in that next game. Who are you most looking forward to seeing in the next game that's coming up on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app?
Leo Steed for Western Australia, a midfielder. So he's been excellent. He's number 44 for people who are watching on the commentary stream shortly as well.
The noble Steed, Cal.
The noble Steed, absolutely, Joel. And for Vic Country, I'm going to go with Jackson Phillips. I like him as a player, number 11, a midfielder who can run and zip and kick. So keep an eye out for those 2 midfielders coming up in the next game.
Love it. You can find that on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Brilliant work from you, as always, Cal Twomey, who's on Gettable every single Wednesday here on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Thanks very much for your company on the AFL's YouTube page. You can get the next game of the championships and find all our coverage on the website and the app. Thanks for your company. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.